What if I told you you could take any sound and turn it into an instrument? That's nothing new in the world of music production, but today I'm going to show you a really fun way to do it in Logic Pro using Logic's newish sampler called Sample Alchemy. You could feed it any sound, like the hum of a refrigerator, a siren, or even a cat's meow. And it's not just going to play the sound back, but it'll actually rebuild them using synthesis. I'm talking granular synthesis, additive synthesis, and spectral synthesis. Now, if you're not familiar with these terms, don't worry. By the end of the video, you'll know what they mean and how to use them to sculpt a random sound into something beautiful. Okay, enough intro, let's jump right in. So I've got a totally blank project open here in Logic. We are going to use this really cute cat video and try to see if we can use this cat's meow to create some kind of sound using Sample Alchemy. So I've already dragged the audio from the video into my project. There are a few ways you can actually load your audio into Sample Alchemy. The first way is just to open a software instrument, go to Sampler, Sample Alchemy, and I can actually click and drag this file right into Sample Alchemy like that. Option 2, I can click and drag the file into the panel here and go to Sample Alchemy. That'll automatically load Sample Alchemy with my sample inside of it. And the third option is to open Sample Alchemy, go over here to where it says no audio file loaded, and click Load Audio. And that way you can just upload an audio file right from your computer. Let's drag back in our sample. And as soon as I drag in the sample, you can see that the waveform pops up. This is kind of like the heartbeat of Sample Alchemy. Literally every sound is going to start from this part of the interface. Now that we've got our sound in, let's get our bearings because the interface here is deceptively simple. Now we can see this sort of breathing circle A here. Let's click and drag that around to see what happens. All right, as you can tell, when I drag this circle around, it plays different parts of the sample. Up top here, we've got our edit modes. We've got play, motion, and trim. Play mode is where we sculpt the sound. Motion records movements and gestures. A little more on that later. And trim actually crops our sample source, not too different from the quick sampler in Logic. Let's go back to play mode. Now, a second ago, I talked about this little circular A. Up here, you'll notice that we have A, B, C, and D. And when I click on each of these, they appear at different parts of the sample. Each one of these is like a little mini version of your sound that you can play independently. Let's close sample A and open sample B. So sample B is playing this second meow here. Let's open up sample A again. And this will play the beginning of the meow. And when I click them, they will play simultaneously. But I can scrub around the area of the sample I want them to play. For example, I'll leave sample B over here in the second meow. But let's move sample A into that sort of like noisy part of the sample. Now let's open up C and D, and I can move these around as well. As you can see, each handle appears in sequence with sound layers. Each source can be toggled on and off. Let's toggle off C and D again. Now the real fun begins in play mode. Sample Alchemy gives us 5 of these, a few of which I mentioned earlier, but let's go into what each of these are. Classic mode is a straight playback, like a regular sampler. Loop mode repeats sections endlessly. And I can even adjust the size of the loop by clicking and dragging these. We've got scrub mode, which lets you scrub manually through the sample. I'm going to turn off handles D, C, and B real quick. Bow mode sort of melts the sample into very smooth textures. Now I want to go through the arpeggiator mode in a sec because I think it's really fun, but I'm going to enable these other handles real quick and direct your attention to this part of the interface where when I click this drop down and hit select all, it will control each of these samples globally. So they're all in spectral mode right now. If I click additive, they are all additive, and granular, they are all granular. For example, let me play a note here. Now if I go to additive, as you can see, that can be pretty convenient when you really just want to get some uniformity going. Anyways, let's go to ARP mode. I'm going to leave all of these selected for simplicity's sake. Let's play another chord. And I can adjust the arpeggiator rate here. It's on 16th notes. Let's bring it up to 30-second notes. And maybe down to like quarter notes. Not the best noise. I'm sure we could sculpt it to make it sound better. I do really wish they had like triplets and dotted notes. That would be really cool, but we're kind of stuck with just the straight like 1/4 divisions of notes. And I am going to take a chord progression from my Beautiful Chords MIDI chord pack, link in the description. And I am going to drag in a chord progression. Let's play this regularly as it is. I'll go back into play mode. Oh my gosh. Let's go back to spectral mode. Let's try putting that on cloud. It's also like super loud. If I go to this 3 dots and go to global, here I can turn down the volume a little bit. All right, let's go back to play mode real quick and just listen to how this sounds with the chords. I'm going to take off downsample, put back on the regular low pass filter. Maybe that doesn't sound so great to me. Let's make it additive. All right, getting somewhere. We can also adjust the things like attack and decay, sustain, and release up on this area. Forgot to mention that. All right, now let's actually get into motion mode. I'm going to just solo out sample A for now and make it additive. Let's go to motion. Now I'll hit record and watch what happens when I play the sample back and I move the handle around. Let's play that back. You can see it recorded where I moved it. I don't really use motion a whole ton, but it could be something interesting for your sound design choices. I can clear that out by hitting clear. So let's actually try to make a cool like pad or something with this. I'm going to solo out handle A. Let's put it back in spectral mode. Let's go to cloud again and see how that sounds. Let's turn up the attack a bit. Turn up the volume. Bring the mix up. All right, a little gritty, a little lo-fi. I'm digging it, but we need some effects. Let's try Valhalla Supermassive, really fun, free reverb and delay plugin. Let's put on something just like totally insane. We Are Stardust. Let's take down that mix a bit. All right, I'm thinking we might actually need something not so intense. That sounds really spooky and cool. Let's introduce another handle. So I've got handle A is spectral. Let's introduce handle D, which is going to be additive. Let's see how that sounds. Sounds really nice when you take the resonance down. Now, if you can't tell already, you can spend hours with this thing, manipulating all types of different sounds. I've done that here myself because I just lock myself in this room and pretty much don't come out for hours because I'm just there tweaking the little parameters on Sample Alchemy. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please subscribe, like this video if you found it helpful, and leave a comment letting me know what you thought or if you have any questions. Till then, I'll see you in the next one.